waiting too. We shouldn't waste a single second, babe. 'Cause we've got so much we need to do. I'll light a candle. I'll even play the favorite song. And when you've had enough love, you'll want more and more, more and more. Of this good loving, spend the night, girl, it would be so amazing, so amazing, so amazing. Oh, baby, come on and spend the night. Come on, it'll be so amazing for you, amazing for me. Come on, come on, come on. Let's spend the night. Let's spend the night.
Tell you what, I got a great idea. Join me next week and we'll spend the night together on the Sights of Soul. We'll play lots more great music. How about that? Mr. Walter Williams. And time for me to go, I'm afraid, but I'm going to leave you with this classic from the great Shirley Brown. How about that? Mr. Walter Williams. Time for me to go, I'm afraid, but I'm going to leave you with this classic from the great Shirley Brown.
Shirley, you know I love you, baby. I don't wanna go.
Then why can't you stay?
You know I love you.
Don't go. Stay. I can tell by the look that's on your face. It won't be long before you walk away. You're so unsure of what you want to do. Tell me, how long must I play the fool? You say that it's not, that you don't love me, and you say right now you just need to be free. If this is goodbye, don't make love to me tonight. No, baby. If this is goodbye, don't you kiss the tears from my eyes. Oh, no, no. You say one more time, just for old time's sake. But my love is serious, and it's not a game you play. And if your affection is just for one night, then I'd rather see you walk out of my life. And if you should see a teardrop fall from my face, baby. And if you're
My name is Brandon Wren. For me, it's a difficult name to say, so you can just call me Don. So my father doesn't know me same way. And as a CEO, I am very delighted here today to introduce you our new manager, Steve Cottrell. And as a club, we are very excited and confident our manager will lead us to success and back to Premier League again. And here's Steve Cottrell going to take your question. Thank you.
How are you doing? Yeah, good.
A new opportunity here. You left looking for a first-team manager's role. Did you ever expect to be back here so quickly?
No, I didn't.
And what kind of job have you got ahead of you?
Well, first of all, I mean, you know, when I left here, it was pretty sad, really. When I left, I didn't want to leave. Had a great time at the club, so to be back here so quick is it is a shock, to be honest. I have to say that. What sort of job have I got ahead of me? A great job, great challenge, but a great job ahead of me for sure.
You witnessed a 6-1 defeat at the weekend. What are the main issues with the team at the moment? Why are they struggling?
Well, I mean, it was probably a good game to see at the weekend in respect of it was a third game in a week. I think that there were some mitigating circumstances for perhaps the performance in terms of Hull had an extra 24 hours over us going into the third game in the Championship in a week. So by the time you get to the third game in a week, you know, probably a few of those lads are 33k, 35k on an average. So there's going to be some dip in their performance. I think that if you have a look at yesterday's result, so we play on Wednesday against Sheffield Wednesday, for instance. They get another 24 hours. They're at home yesterday and they go and get a 3-0 result. So sometimes the setting up the fixtures goes for you and against you. I think for the players it went against them a little bit last week. Then obviously Lee decided to stay with the same starting lineup, which was even more understandable because they hadn't won for a while. So he felt, don't change the team now, because if you change the team now, even if you go and freshen it up with 3 or 4 faces and the team get beat, people are going to say to him, why did you change your team? So he was in a no-win situation, really, picking the team for the weekend. I know the characters of the lads, so I think that, you know, probably somewhere along the line, whilst the result isn't acceptable, and they will say that as well, by the way, the players will say that because they're an honest set of lads. I think there were some circumstances that went against them at the weekend, but I don't think I can defend them too much more than that, but predominantly that's what I will do from time to time anyway. I don't tend to speak about what goes on in the dressing room. What goes on in there stays in there.
What are the expectations for this season and beyond? What can this team achieve?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, there's always a long-term plan, and everybody wants to have a long-term plan in a football club. But for me, you'll never get to the long-term without having the short-term. So the short-term plan at the moment is to try and get an 11 ready to play against Cardiff City in just under a couple of weeks' time, and then to get ourselves out of that relegation zone. That's our immediate task.
Can you look beyond that? Have you been told by the owners that they're looking for a promotion chase this season?
No, I haven't been told anything like that. No, we haven't. We've spent enough time now together. 2 meetings before I was given the job. A late night travelling Friday up here. The team had finished training, had arrived in Hull by then. All the tactics had been done by Lee. So I've spent time then, another 4.5 hours in a car with Dong on Saturday. So no, nothing has been told to me what I need to do or my expectations or whatever. I think pretty much anyway, they'll know my type of character. Don't forget I had, you know, nigh on a month at the end of last season, so hopefully I can stand them in good stead.
Why was Steve the right man for the job?
Well, first and foremost, a proven record. This is the club needs at the moment. And also, it's time for stop to having some stability now. And I know that we've always been labelled foreign owners, and then we don't know where we get the saying that we keep second managers, which unfortunately happened. But the longer Steve Coach will stay here, the more likely we'll get back to the Premier League sooner. So that's the reason we choose him.
Do you know the background to Harry Redknapp's sacking? Was it purely the results on the pitch?
Well, for sure, it's that didn't happen because he doesn't speak Chinese. Like the other day, he was saying, and I speak Chinese, and I wouldn't say it's purely about the results. And there are certain things I think we both agreed we need to move on to different directions. And as a person, I love him. I cannot ever thank him enough. Along with Steve last year, they saved us there, and that's going to be a different story without these two.
Don, do you have a message for the fans, because there's been a lot of upheaval in the last 12 months?
Well, this football in this country is huge, and it also means a lot of things to us. And we have a lot of business, like casinos. This is not a casino business. You go to a casino, you go back home with a bag of cash or with empty hands. We know football is something different. We feel for the fans, like the result we had 2 days ago, and we really feel for it. And we apologize for that result, which is absolutely not acceptable. We went to the dressing room, we said exactly the same thing for the players, and Steve said something really nice in the dressing room. Tonight, when you brush your teeth, take a long look at your mirror yourself. Think about it. The fans deserve what your performance up there was totally disaster. And we feel that. And considering taking over this football club, it's going to be 1 year in 20 days. And this is the first time we actually ready to offering stability to the club.
I'm sure fans would be warming to the sound of stability. I mean, Steve, have you got a job to do to heal the squad? Because we've got some players who are brought in by Gary Rowett, some players brought in by Zola, a lot of players brought in by Harry Redknapp. Do you have factions? You need to heal it. What do you need to do to bring all those players together?
I don't know the answer to that yet, because I haven't been in there to sense it. And if perhaps you may think that, which is why you've asked that question, or it may be being talked about in and around. But that won't be any different to me, because I've walked in many dressing rooms and normally only get a job anywhere when they're bottom of the championship anyway. So, you know, when I've walked into clubs, there's been, and I've had some
we come in
some
our
really good clubs
thousands,
at difficult times, you know.
the place we call home, with our friends, our families, or even on our own. Either in the Tilton, the Gilmerick, the main stand or the Cop, whether it's battling for promotion or avoiding the drop. We give them our love, our passion, our all. The highs, the lows, the rises and the falls. The players, the managers, they come, they leave. But we remain in hope. We believe. Through the joys, the sorrows, the heartache and the pain, we never give up. We come back again and again. We keep right on to the end of the road, and we return to St Andrews, our happy abode. We keep right on for the boys in royal blue. We are one. We are blues. Through and through.
Easton, McVeigh, Granger's missed it, Notman has it, it's Alex Notman for Norwich, it's Notman's cross, it's Roberts! The big man, the Welshman in Cardiff, for Delia and the boss.
Have a look at Roberts there, he's injured, he's gone down in.
John. Horsfield! Equaliser! It's going to the wire again. And Jeff Horsfield, whose goal took them into the playoffs, has them back on terms in the playoff final.
That's what I've been saying though, Peter. They go back, they invite pressure, one ball in, one knockdown header, and Horsfield's in on it. And there he is, he's stood in there. We've seen that so many times, a knockdown header. And I thought for a minute the keeper had almost made the same save as he made in the first half. But Horsfield's in on it. But the more you go back, the more you invite pressure. And I think Darren Such has been brought on for that reason, to sort of try and block off headers.
Johnson. Johnson climbing, Kenton getting up. The final whistle going, it is 1-1 after extra time, and we are about to experience a £40 million penalty shootout. The talisman scores. Stern John, whose goal at Millwall brought Birmingham here. Stern John. In the postage stamp, bottom left. Phil Mulrine, who brings style to Norwich. Got one of the key goals on the final day against Stockport. But has recently had a penalty saved against Gillingham. Only 7 weeks ago, Phil Mulrine failed from the spot. And does so again. Great save from Vasson. Advantage Birmingham. Paul Devlin, who signed for Birmingham City for the second time only this week. And scores for them. That's a cracking penalty. Darren Such, not a player on the field to whom this day means more. He is Norwich. They look to him. All his career, a Carrow Road man, a canary. Darren Such has rolled it wide. It's fading away for Norwich. Stan Lazaridis did score in both of last year's shootouts against Preston and Liverpool. And scores now, and Birmingham are on the brink.
The game swung backwards and forwards, but I can't see it swinging again, can you? They're going to need
Easton misses.
Need a miracle.
He has to score. He has to score. He scored just. But Darren Carter is the man who comes forward to take the £40 million kick. A baby.
Bottled, isn't it? That is bottled.
A mere baby when Birmingham City were last promoted to the top flight in 1985. A lifetime ago. Darren Carter for the Premiership. The Premiership!
What we're longing for, it's Birmingham forever. Let's hear it from this end. So come on, sing this song once more. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? Birmingham City, down at St Andrews, we are all supporters of our team. We chant a super blues, ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads.
Welcome to Monday Night's Tilton. Carter scored that famous penalty to take Blues back to the promised land of the Premier League. Also joining us tonight is the legendary Colin Curtis, the writer and singer of our world-famous signature We Are the Lads from the Tilton, and his song Curtis. It's international break this week, and we have been so thrilled that England managed to get to next year's World Cup finals. We were entertained with wonderful flowing, flamboyant style of football with goals galore. Friday night, High Flying Cardiff will be in town live on Sky. I wonder who the pundit will be. As we head into October, all 3 games are on TV, so let's Blues fans turn up in our droves and make it hostile for them. Let's not sit at home or in the pub and allow Sky TV to make our wonderful stadium soulless. So once again, strap yourselves in, get ready for the ride as we go worldwide on tonight's Tilton Talk Show. Massive welcome to a Monday night's talk show. My Brown, we've got Curtis, and of course the score of that famous penalty, the one and only Darren Carter.
Thank you.
There you go, Darren. Everybody gets the clap when they come.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Message comes through to me. It's from Tom Ross. He said, "Will you get rid of them Alice fans once and for all, for the love of God, for the sake of humanity?"
The Alice fans are gone, Tom. Don't worry.
You did mention yeah. Right. Okay. We've just seen that penalty. I quite openly cried. I'm sure you did. You did. Did you? Yeah, we all did. We all did. Yeah, you're responsible for making a whole room full of grown men cry. How do you feel about? Got some questions actually that came in a little bit earlier, Darren, and what we'll do is we'll put those to you right now before we go much further. What was Darren feeling, thinking just before we do his bowl, and how did you celebrate in the evening after the match?
You
were 18 years old.
18, yeah. And in all fairness, I think the whole lead up to the game, to the final, Steve Bruce had us practicing penalties, doing the walk from the halfway line every day after training. And I'd always been confident.
So you'd practice walking?
Yeah,
really,
practice
really,
the walk.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
obviously even it was an empty St Andrews most of the time, and so he just wanted you to get into the repetition of walking to the ball and sort of the time you've got then to think about it. But he always said make sure you decide straight away before you even put the ball down where you're going to put it. Don't change your mind. So yeah, we practiced them religiously, and I never missed in practice, and you know, on the day when it came to it, I was just super confident. I knew I was going to score. I've never felt
I
it.
didn't.
I know a lot of people say the same to me, and but yeah, I've never been that confident taking a penalty since. So I always say to people, it was just, you know, a bit deep, but it was meant to be. And I always remember, it's quite funny thinking back that when I did make the walk, the first initial few steps from the halfway line, I did hear a little bit of a gasp from some of the Blues fans, because I think they thought, what's he doing stepping up next? And a lot of fans have said to me since that they were so shocked and very nervous, shall we say, when they seen me step forward.
I didn't turn around and not watch it. I did watch it. But,
I think it was more, oh my God, this is actually it. Do you know what I mean?
I think we could actually do it. Yeah,
this is Birmingham City's future being trusted to an 18-year-old.
Well, yes,
no disrespect.
Half of it was our 18-year-old kids coming up to take this penalty.
Yeah,
but I think most of it was. I mean, I was there, and I just thought, this is one penalty away from the Premier League. Like, and I think it was all of that. And I think that gasp, like I quite remember that as well. You know, the place was just. You couldn't hear yourself think for the whole game, apart from that one moment when you step. And that would be the one for me. Was it Throughout the whole game? It sounded so loud. Was that walk up to the pen? Did Did it seem quieter on that walk up? Because it certainly seemed
Yeah,
in the crowd.
it did. I think that gasp and sort of collectively Blues fans probably were thinking, "Wow, either this is our moment, or what the hell is that they've sent him up for?" Being 18 years old. But yeah, all through the game, having the roof on as well made the atmosphere. There's a constant drone of noise all the way through the game, but that moment, I think everyone took a bit of a sharp breath.
Absolutely.
Well, that question was from Ian Park. So, how did you celebrate after the match then?
Well, we all went back to the hotel in Cardiff. We was planned to anyway. All the families came back. A lot of my family were going back to Birmingham on the night anyway, so they came back for sort of an hour or so. And a lot of the lads were staying over with their wives and kids. Obviously, I wasn't married or have any kids and stuff, so there was about 5 of us in the end. I think it was me, Andrew Johnson, Curtis Woodhouse, a few of the younger lads, Tom Williams, who was in the squad at the time. We actually said, should we head back to Brum? And it was actually the owner, the hotel manager at the time, had the idea of, well, I've got a minibus, I'll drive you all back. So he actually ended up driving us back. The only place that was open was in Solihull. I think it was Rosie's at the time, and the owner of them at the time, he was a massive Blues fan, so we had a massive stay back, and I think we were just out till about 5-6 in the morning.
Nice one, brilliant. Tom Richardson says, do you ever get sick about talking to the penalty when you've achieved so many other things in your career?
No, if I'm talking to Blues fans, no, it never gets boring, because the different stories that I've heard from the day, how people celebrated where they were, and just the passion, and you can see, you can see the emotion in people's faces.
But it's a where were you moment, isn't it? The moment Blues got promoted to the Premier League for the first time. So. Yeah.
Golly heck. Oh dear. Right, okay. Brett Stanley says, was you always down to take that penalty, the 4th, I believe, or was there a reshuffle? Who would have taken number 5 if you'd have missed, and did it feel a bit weird when Nick kissed your foot? That's something I promised to do last week. The foot that put the Blues back into the I'll read them all out, I don't care.
Well, I was always down to take one, and I put myself forward, so Steve Bruce and Mark Bowen at the time knew that, and it was Brian Hughes who was down to take number 5, and Mark Bowen came to me and said, he just come to me and said 4 or 5. And I said, I don't mind, who's it out of? And he said, you and Hughesy. I said, well, ask Hughesy. But knowing full well Hughesy loved the 5th pen. And he came back to me about 30 seconds later and said, number 4. And that was it.
Right. So that clears that up completely.
Did Hughesy give you any stiff?
In
the line, right?
Every single time I see him, he's always like, you stole my thunder. I said at the end of the day, Hughesy, I gave you the choice. You could have gone 4th, it's your own fault.
Ray Hodbridge says, since leaving the Blues, has football been enjoyable?
I've had a lot of enjoyable moments. I think every player will tell you the same. You have ups and you have downs. Learnt so much. I probably have learnt more in terms of, again, don't want to get deep, but life experiences really since I left Blues, because it was all I knew up until I was 21, being a supporter and coming through the youth team and making my first team debut. So, yes, when I left, that's when I really sort of had to grow up a little bit, I think. But yeah, I've had plenty of enjoyable moments, but none will ever top that day at Cardiff.
And the last one that came through earlier was Brett Stanley. OK, I've just watched Blues TV video and know who was down for the 5th penalty. Typical, but no spoilers here. Maybe you can ask him anyway. We've already cleared that one up. That's wonderful. Colin, welcome.
Thanks.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. It's by accident, actually. I posted We Are the Lads from the Tilton theme tune on, was it Facebook? Facebook. Yeah. A couple of 3 months ago. And Curtis wrote back to me and says, oh, my dad wrote that. And I said, he's got to come in. But unfortunately, we're training last week. I should have been, your full show last week. But we'll share. We're all Birmingham team supporters. So when did you write the song?
Why?
When?
About 1970.
About 1970.
Yeah.
Okay. And we did tell you beforehand that we've actually adopted it as our theme tune for the show. And it gets listened to by around about 30,000 people twice a week now. So so that's a good audience for you. Can I ask you now if we can have permission to play it?
We don't owe you anything, do we?
I owe some royalties.
Is it
yeah, of course.
Hey, what a bloke. What a top man. Okay, so you wrote that on way back in 1970. You were also on New Faces, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, tell us about it.
Well, I had a band, and we were just playing here and everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
And then I put my name down for New Faces, and I had a phone call, and that was it.
Who was it used to be on that? What was it?
It was,
on the panel. Who was on the panel?
Derek Hobson.
Right.
That was it with him.
Just with him, was it?
Yeah.
Right. And who beat you to the first part?
I don't know her name.
You don't know her name?
No.
No, I meant overall over that series, like.
Well, it was a duo,
Yeah.
and I don't remember them at all.
Okay, no
It
problem.
was,
Marty Kane won, didn't she, in the end?
and in the end of the series,
That's what I'm on about. Yeah.
Marty Kane.
Marty Kane, pit to the post by Marty Kane. What a legend! What a top bloke. Always been a Birmingham City supporter
Since I was about 9.
since you were 9. And Curtis, yourself?
Well, since I was nailed to a grasshopper, yeah.
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
It's the way, and it's been passed down through generations, through
Yeah.
families.
Yeah.
Have you got any kids yourself?
No, I haven't got any kids
Right.
myself,
Okay. Well,
no.
when you do, make sure
I'll
they're
take
blue.
my nephews and everybody. Yeah. Take
My-
my nephews and all
My
that.
kids could sing "Keep Right On" to the end of the road before they could say "Dad."
Yeah.
So you don't mind us playing your song then?
No,
and,
no.
and literally, the words to it. Let's hear you in the cop singing our song, helping and sharing the load. It's worth a point at home when we sing together. We'll be there at the end of the road. Beautiful, love it.
That's excellent.
We
isn't
love
it?
that tune, don't we, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I like it's certainly come back a bit, hasn't it? In the last 18 months
Yeah,
or
yeah,
so,
yeah.
I've heard it quite a bit more back on the Tilton.
On the
You
terraces,
used to do it in like on away days and things like that when I first started going in mid 2000s ish. That was when I first started going away regularly, and you'd hear it there. But at home now, especially on the Tilton, you're hearing it quite a lot
Yeah,
more.
on the
Actually,
terraces, yeah. And when you get to the pub, you hear your dad on
that's
the
it.
jukebox lot. and
Yeah.
you're at the pub.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. There's something to make you smile, isn't it? Eh?
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
See, we have Birmingham City fans from all walks of life. All walks of life, Darren. It's not all about the superstars and the footballers. And don't get me wrong, it's always great to get them in.
Yeah.
It's always great to get them in. But when you've got a guy like this who's boom, put that together. And I blame him intolerably because I can't stop singing it all chugging day long. When I'm painting at work, mate, I say I'm belting it out left, right, and centre. Always, literally.
Did you
and
think
I mean that every
when
single
you're
day.
jotting those lyrics down, what, not 70s, nearly 50 years ago?
Yeah.
Did you think it'd still be sung and played now at Blues and
No,
on,
not
the,
at all,
on
no.
records? It's incredible, isn't it? Nearly 50 years on, and it's still a massive part of Blues fans' day.
I've never been paid for it yet.
No.
Which is why I asked if
I've
we could.
I did all recording and paid for it myself.
Yeah.
At the studios in Handsworth, and that was it. And then it's never been. Well, it should have been advertised, really, but people come and made promises, but nothing come of it. So I did it myself.
That's the music industry for you, mate.
Yeah.
How did you feel then when Curtis came up to you a few weeks ago and said, "Dad, we're going to get you on the Tilton Talk Show"? Because and genuinely, for I don't know how many years we've played it for since we rebranded.
Since I've started doing it, so nearly. How long have I been doing it for? 5 years now.
5 years. 5 years every single Monday.
I thought you should pull him in leg.
Yeah. And now here you are, reality. Sat here with Darren Carter. What could be better? What could be better? What could be better? Have we got anything coming through on the shout box, Chris? Because we've not had time this side to kind of catch up with it yet.
I'm sorry, we do. I know I haven't got a microphone, by the way.
Oh, right, okay, well, we'll crack on this side then. Has Chris Brown got enough alcohol-free beers for the gang tonight? I'm hoping so.
Should play more songs like that pre-match at St Andrews.
They should play.
They could do like a 20-minute before kick-off where they just do a collection of blues songs, and that would certainly be one of them that would get the Tilton going.
Yeah, it'd be up there,
And
wouldn't
there's the other track as well on the reverse side.
Oh yeah, well
Birmingham Blues.
Birmingham Blues.
Yeah,
grand stuff. Yeah, I can't sing that one like I can sing this one. Then I'm a very simplistic kind of guy, and I need lyrics and the tune. You know what I mean? But that was a little bit more technical. That one wasn't.
How many people are on that? We Are the Lads from the Tilton? Because it sounds like there's a few. Is that how many people are actually recording that at the time? Do you
About
remember?
half a dozen of us.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Sounds a lot more than that, doesn't it?
And I had chaps from work, you know.
Yeah.
I just roped anybody in.
Come and have a sing, yeah.
Story,
Unbelievable,
cracking
isn't it?
story.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh
dear. Right, okay, we're going to announce the winner of our competition last week. All you've got to do is share this stream on your personal Facebook page to be in with some super prizes. We can't tell you what they are tonight because Chris hasn't got a microphone, but our winner this week for last week's shares is Dean Lomas. Dean Lomas, last week's winner. Very well done, Dean. Get in touch with the show afterwards, or myself, Chris, and we will make sure that those goods wing their way to you as soon as we humanly possibly can. Thank you very much. We've got a Tom Ross book that are we doing that on the shares tonight? Is that
It can be an option.
option to do what?
To either win that or win one of our Keep Ross on goodies.
There we go. It's either a Keep Right On goodie bag or a signed Tom Ross book, The Game's Gone. You can win that next week by sharing. You can either choose that one or you can choose the goodie bag. It's entirely up to you. There's your mate.
I know, yeah, to be fair, when he told me he was bringing the book out, I said, I don't need to read it, Tom, I've heard everything you got to say.
Yeah.
So he's told me every story he's ever...
he's been on here
twice,
twice, and we've heard a few, haven't we? So he's shared.
You have to get the reins on Tom, or he can go all night. So.
It's off air as well.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, he can talk all the time.
But a cracking guy all round though. He's a nice.
Oh, he's
guy.
great. He's
Nice.
fantastic.
Any refreshments, by the way?
Yeah, I'll have a non-alcoholic beer if you want.
I'm good. I've got my water here, so I'm all good.
You want to drink that?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm prepared.
Thanks.
Okay, just piggy me then. Right, while we're on the just do that competition, then don't forget you can win this Tom Ross The Game's Gone signed edition or a goodie bag next week just by sharing the stream on your Facebook page. So the more people that know about us, the better. The wider the audience, then the better it is for everybody concerned. Got to give thanks to Birmingham City Football Club this week because they've now given us permission to play clips like you saw the Darren Carter clip earlier. We wouldn't have been able to have played that before without the permission from the club. So thank you very much to Birmingham City Football Club and Blues TV for allowing us to do that, and obviously we will continue to promote the club in all ways we possibly can. There we go, smash it nicely, mate.
Question from Heath Burgess for Darren. Who was the best player you played with at your time at Blues?
To be fair, I couldn't go any further than Christophe Dugarry.
Yeah.
So
in that era,
yeah, he came into the club and obviously transformed the place. Really, I think he captured the fans' heart straight away. And as a young lad in the dressing room, he actually sat next to me in the dressing room, and
you were like this, were you?
I was literally like, I was like, this is a World Cup winner here, and he was such a great guy as well, such a fantastic guy, and his talent was there for everyone to
off
see.
the pitch as well as on the pitch, he helped, especially the younger players.
Oh god,
like you,
without a doubt, and I think he sensed with me. Obviously, he could see I'd just got into the first team, and I was still trying to find my feet, and he was great, absolutely great, and like I say, it's just a shame that he didn't go on for a bit longer with Christophe.
Yeah.
He certainly captured the fans' hearts, within minutes of coming to the club.
Well, he single-handedly kept us up that well. Got us to 10th in the league. So he was a phenomenal.
5 games spell in like March, April.
He shook the son's hand.
Like you could tell he was a different class above anything we like on his day. I think we got battered like 4-0 at home to Arsenal. But and the next few games, but you could see there was something in him. And all of a sudden, like end of February, start of March, it just clicked for him. And I think he got like 5 in 4 or something. And like you say, that really shot us up the table away from the drop zone. Then
did he wear Alice bands?
He did. This is something
I've
actually said this to Tom as well on plenty of occasions, but he dismisses that fact.
You're just following like a World Cup winner.
That's it. If it's good enough for Christophe, it's good enough for me. So
there's one here, James Brown. I remember your mum, Darren. She was a dinner lady at 9 Stars when I was younger.
Yep.
She was massively proud of you, as well, all us fans, and you made a dream come true for us all. And I'll never forget that, mate. Cried my eyes out sitting right in the lower corner where you all celebrated. Legend.
I appreciate that, James. I'll tell my mum she's fondly remembered from a school dinners days.
Carl Evans says, who's the biggest wind-up you've played with?
Oh, I've played with a few, that's for sure. To be fair, the squad that I came into at that time, you had a few. You had Michael Johnson, Martin Granger, Martin O'Connor, Danny Sonner. They were, definitely up there, 100%. Graham Hyde as well, actually. Hyde's probably one of the wittiest people I've ever played with. So you had a fair few, and me being young coming into that dressing room as well. You can imagine I got a fair few pranks, a fair few jokes thrown my way anyway. So I think Danny Sonner, my first time training with the first team, he called me Rodney Trotter because I was tall and skinny, and he nicknamed me Rodney straight off the bat. I was like, oh, cheers for that. But no, they were definitely the wind-up merchants back then anyway.
Well, the banter was good though.
Oh, brilliant! I've said to this day I couldn't have had a better introduction into the game of football with that group of players. They were proper guys, and they taught me basically on the pitch. They'll be harsh as anything with you. They'll tell you exactly how it is. Off the pitch, they'll put their arm around you and be your best mate. So on the pitch, they demanded the very best from you. You couldn't take a day off in training. That's exactly how it was. So I had a good grounding in the game, that's for sure.
A lot of people bemoan that those days have gone, if you like. That a lot of people think that dressing room atmosphere and that environment has gone. With whether people blame the money in the game or whatever. You're still in the game at Solihull Moors at a lower level at the moment, but do you think Premier League, Championship? Do you think that dressing room environment is still there, similar to what you had at Blues?
It's changed. It's changed a lot, and I think you look back. I mean, it's changed a lot since I started playing and made my debut. It's just really the ruthlessness and the banter you can have now in dressing rooms. There's a lot of things now that you can't say. There's a lot of things that jokes and that you probably were allowed back in the day within the dressing room, and I think people get offended a little bit more. I'm not saying it's vicious, but you have banter in a dressing room. And as for that camaraderie, I think maybe the influx of the foreign players as well, like you say, the money has probably took that away a little bit. People are a lot of individuals, a few more cliques, if you like, and the best teams, I think, are the ones who can still have that team bond and do things outside of the game together as a team. I think they're the ones that are successful.
Answer my question honestly. You don't wear white headphones to the game, do you? Them big round white.
Oh no, I'm
Thank God for that.
Yeah, I'm old school. Just
man.
Little ones, and that's about it.
Nothing grates me more. Nothing gets my back up more than them horrible things. People they can't even acknowledge the fans.
That's it. Noise cancellers, and that's it. So
went down to a game at Wembley once, and Beckham was on the coach, so it was an England match. And everybody had got him on apart from him, and he was waving to everybody.
Everyone,
yeah, proper. But I cannot stand the damn things. I should be banned for life. George Ennis says that's a smiling blue nose in the corner. I think he probably means you, sir. Well, we had the original Crazy Gang: Cotton, Dennis, Blake, Hoppo, Big Mick Harford, quality, all proper players. Could do with a few of them now as well, couldn't we? Oh God, yeah. No, I've met them. The names he's just said there at a lot of former players things, and you can tell, they're proper guys and no nonsense. Hoppo comes. He brings his own crates with him.
But good players as well, huh?
Oh, good players. I think that's what goes unnoticed. Doesn't it? Yeah.
A lot of people that we get a lot, especially when you're losing 6-1 and things like that. You do get a lot of harking back to the days where you had players that were Blues fans, if you like, and they put it all out there on the pitch. But you have to have that quality with it as well. And like Darren says, I think it sometimes goes under the radar that those were very good players as well as being top professionals as well. What was the first game you went to?
My first game, my dad took me down, was the first game of the 88-89 season. I think it was Crewe. We played Crewe and Chesterfield at home, sort of on the Saturday and Tuesday. And my dad took me down. I actually stood at the top of the Cop where the refreshments stand used to be. So I used to stand on the little ledge on the back of there, and then after that, literally,
But did you ever think as a kid that one day you might be? Was it always a dream?
Oh, it's always a dream. I think anybody.
It's for me, and I'm 55.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you support any football club, your dream is to go and play for them. So I always said, obviously, doing what I managed to achieve at the football club is just was a dream come true. You can't sort of. People always ask me how I felt. I say, well, how would you feel as a Blues fan?
Yeah.
And they say, well,
Exactly
there you
the
go.
same.
Exactly, yeah.
What about your first game, Colin? When was that one?
Oh, I couldn't remember. I was about 9.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just couldn't remember. My dad took me down there.
That's always the case, isn't it? Same with me, same with you.
And
My dad
Passed
taught
on,
me.
yeah.
in the railway end we went to,
Oh, right, yeah.
and he said, you sit behind the net, because if a ball hits you, you've gone. So we sit behind the net.
Bless him.
And then,
Safest place to be.
Yeah.
and then when I got about 10, friends from school said, why don't you go around by the cup? So that's where we went round there. We sit on the wall, in the cup, on the halfway line.
Yeah, because they used to sit on the grass as well, didn't they? On the right next to the pitch, the kids.
Yeah.
So their dads would lift them up and put them on there.
Oh, wow.
Literally where the light was mum would run up.
Yeah.
And it just used to be rows upon rows of kids just sat
It's
there. Yeah, back in the day, proper.
And proper Eddie Brown and people like this run past you and rub your head, you know.
Yeah. Cracking.
It's amazing.
Good stuff. Right, okay, the ladies had a bit of a good result this weekend, mister.
Yeah.
Considering.
Yeah, I mean, I could rant on for another hour about the officiating in the WSL, but I won't. So, went down to Reading yesterday, Reading away, and we started the game okay. I conceded a penalty from a corner for pulling, which the corner before, they were moaning, the Reading players were on the referee's back, moaning and moaning, saying, you got to watch this pulling, you got to watch this pulling. And I said to this person next to me, because it went out for another corner, I said, if this happens again, he'll give a penalty. Stone blind certainty, and as soon as the corner come down, they went down, penalty.
Mr. Fuller's kiss of doom.
So yeah, went 1-0 down, and then on the half-hour mark, Jade Moore plays for England, and Reading, she scored a pretty good strike from about 25 yards. So we were 2-0 down after half hour. On the stroke of half time, won a penalty. Aoife Mannion scored that one, who's been on the show before.
Yeah, friend of the show, Aoife.
She took that one away. So 2-1 at half time, and then in the second half we were pretty good. Second half, I've got to say, we kept possession, we kept our shape, we kept our focus, and we didn't panic, we didn't rush. Everything seemed like we knew exactly what we were trying to do. We battered the door down. Reading defended quite well, time wasting, cheap free kicks. But then in the last minute, we won a free kick, ball whipped in by Hayley Ladd, and it was headed in by Kerris Harrop / possibly an own goal, but I'd rather give it Kerris. So yeah, 2-2, come away with a point. Against the side that went to Liverpool last week and won 3-0, so they were flying high on confidence. So to be 2-0 down and come away with a point is a pretty good effort again. To be fair,
do you ever get to watch any of the ladies' games?
When I can, yeah. I'm still very good friends with.
Isn't he?
Oh God, yeah. I'm very good friends with Karen Carney, so I speak to Kaz quite a bit, and I've took a real interest, especially with obviously the Blues ladies over the years, and I've seen that late goal. I was pleased to see that because I see there was 2-1 down. I was following on, and then seeing that scored late. So a big advocate for it, and our ladies as well. Solihull Moors, they've started the season very well, so I keep liaising with their manager and that as well.
Carney's sister was involved with Solihull ladies, I think.
Yeah,
used to be. I don't know. If she still is.
I haven't seen her around lately, but
she used to be involved with Solihull ladies. But
okay.
So there was connections all around there with because obviously Carney being a local girl. So.
I've got to say hi to Joel Melkinov in the United States of America. Congratulations on his recent marriage to Lauren. Congratulations to you from everybody here at the Tilton Talk team.
Congratulations.
Might sing him a song in a minute. Calling on the old.
Is he having us over for the party? For the wedding party?
Well, it would be nice to get a Tilton Talk
invite.
invite.
I think it's only fair.
Only fair. Only right, fair, and just that. Now we've done that. Come on, John, sort it out.
All expenses.
Darren, what did you think about the appointment of Steve Cottrell, and what will he bring to the team? That one's from Stephen Farrell.
It was a weird one. I listened to the show last week, so I heard the opinions and what was said and
We're
everything.
in a better mood.
It was quite. I thought it was a blessing that I wasn't on last week. I would have felt the wrath, but no. I
just named that because I name all of my shows. Like, I keep a copy of my notes.
Yeah.
And I just named last week's the angry one.
The angry one, yeah. But no. Again, I agree. I think if Steve Cottrell hadn't have come into the club at the end of last season with Harry, would he have commanded the position this year? And honestly, knowing football how I do, no, I don't think he would have. But I know he made a real impact on the players last year. He was very hands-on. I mean, Harry is the name, and he would have ultimately named the team. But I know Cottrell was the one out there and coaching and really getting into the lads. So, and they reacted positively, obviously, to that. So, I'm hoping, as a Blues fan, he goes in and commands that same respect. He's got Carzo with him as well, which I know the lads respect Carzo. And you hope that the two of them together can, turn it around.
Why do we have so many rough times? Why? You know yourself, look, being a Birmingham City supporter, and Colin, you've been a Birmingham City supporter longer than all of us.
Yeah.
Longer than all of us, bless you. Well done.
You've enjoyed it longer.
We have seen some crazy things happen, haven't we, really, over the years?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, every football fan will say, my club's just as bad, but being a Blues fan, they put you through the mill, that's for sure. And
nowhere's just as bad as this, isn't
it? Surely. But
I think it's the ups and downs, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can have teams that are consistently, mid-table in League Two, who would love to be fighting relegation in the Championship, but to have the roller coaster that since your penalty, really, the couple of the playoff near misses before that as well.
Yeah.
From that, that what's that, 20 years?
Yeah.
In that 20-year period, we've had, it's just been ridiculous, hasn't it? But so a question. We were talking about it last week's as well. To go from, in the space of 3 days, to go from that gritty, determined, backs to the wall, nick a goal against a decent Sheffield Wednesday side at home, and then to that against Hull. As a player who's been around squads who I'm sure have had that that transition so quickly, how does that happen in a squad?
It's a weird one, really, and I heard what Carzo had to say after the game, and I agree. I think he probably asked too much of the players in terms of physicality, and I think that played a huge part. But then again, I mean, it was quite funny, really. I rang my dad Saturday night. He'd been at the game. He said, "Daz," I'll ring you tomorrow. Make sure you got an hour spare. He said, because I need to really go through what I've just seen. And he said to me, what I've heard from a lot of Blues fans who were there, there wasn't any heart or desire, or seemed to be.
So both you and your dad could have come and done the Angry Show last week. Then.
Well, my dad certainly could have.
Should have had him on,
But it just pained him, I think, more than anything. I could hear it in his voice. He was like, 55 minutes, you've got people getting up and leaving, he said, and but to go, it's hard. You can't explain it. I don't think. There's a lot of things in football I'd love to put my finger on and say this is why it happens. But for whatever reason, I think a lot of it was probably they put a lot into the last game. But again, you've had 3 days in between to recover and to go again, and to get beat 6-1. I mean, you've got to show at least something.
I think, like you say, I think there is that element there that Carsley said that he should have freshened it up in hindsight. He did ask a lot of the same 11 players to go again 3 days later, but like your dad, I'm sure would have said it, and a lot of people who were there said it. There did appear to be a lack of fight and a lack of effort,
which
we
demand.
We do. I think every football fan should demand that, and I've said it on this show plenty of times. I'll defend players. I don't believe that a professional footballer can get to where he is in the game with like pretty much every kid in school wanting to be a professional footballer. If you got 98% of young children wanting to be footballers, to get to a professional footballer status, you've got to have that inner drive and that self-determination to succeed. So I'm not saying they don't care. I simply don't believe that. But how do you explain that as a group? What would that dressing room have been like? Would it?
Well, you just hope that after the game, there's a lot, of people, angry players and frustrated ones. Like I say, losing any game hurts, but when you lose and you get battered in that way, then if you're not having a real horrible weekend where you literally just want to lock yourself in a dark room, then I would say you don't care.
I'm
But
sure what Tatey said on this show that back in his day, and they put out a performance anywhere near like that, there'd be bottles coming. Nobody would sit near the window in the dressing room because there'd be bottles coming through the window. Literally smashing the window with the bottle.
Well, again, like you say, and but I don't think you can put your finger on it. I mean, I'd like to think that no player goes out there, intentionally to give up or not put 100% in.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it was just a really inept performance.
Similar question from James Brown. Question for Darren: have you ever spoken to or got to know Steve Cottrell or know any of the players that have played under him? If so, what's the overall impression you have of it? And do you think he can bring the stability we've been missing since Gary went?
Well, I've played against Steve Cottrell many a time in my career for different clubs, and even when I was at Cheltenham. He came to a lot of the games because he's from that area, and just before I had my injury, before I was out for a year, I played a game at Nottingham Forest when he was manager, at the training ground with a view of signing for Forest for a year, and unfortunately in that game he was actually stood on the sideline with my agent talking about potentially sorting something out deal wise, and I ended up tearing my groin, my adductor, and having nearly a year out. So. It was a bit unfortunate, and possibly could have got the chance to work with him. But but his reputation within the game is very good. I know that he'll certainly get into that group of players and demand they work hard first and foremost, and I'm pretty sure he'll sort them out definitely.
And Darren, as a professional, surely the Blues squad has got to be able to play 3 games a week.
Yeah, people ask me that all the time, and for me, I always say,
that's from Kev Kelly, that one.
Yeah, you as a player, you want to play games. If you give me the choice, do you want to play in a game or train? I'd be like, I want to play in a game. Yeah. I can vouch for the older lads now. You do need probably a bit more recovery time to try and recover, and your body recovers. But I think if you're a young player or you're in your prime, 3 games in a week should not be a problem to you. It wasn't for me anyway. I mean, like I say, I'm 33, going on 34 now, and I feel it a lot more in my legs. That's just purely because I'm getting on a bit. But
I feel getting up.
But that's it. So it's understandable with the older players. But yeah, like I say, if you're in your prime and you're a younger player, then you shouldn't have any problem.
With sports science and the stats that you get, all the coaches will get. What is the drop-off level? So if someone has played 3 games, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, if a player has played every one of those games, the performance level on the first Saturday to the performance level on the last Saturday, is there a stat? I'm sure there are stats out there that coaches can see that you are not running much, you're exerting that much more energy.
Yeah, I mean, the sports scientists now, the stats they have a stat for everything, and I think the stats you're probably looking at as a manager is 1, the distance you're covering, 2 is the high intensity, so basically how many times you're sprinting in a game. You can have all that monitored and assessed, so I think that the drop off you'd probably look at is the sprints and the ground covered. I think they'll be the 2 main ones anyway.
Gregory Beasley.
Yes, well done,
Gregory.
Well done.
He says, "Boys, can you pick a month each for the calendar? We're doing a Tilton Talk calendar, Colin. Right? It's got to be semi-naked."
You say we are doing it.
Do you have a choice?
We sent him off on a bungee jump last night for charity. Poor man.
That was a good one.
We're over the hill with that one. We've had it, mate. No way we do it. So you're not in for the calendar then?
I mean, I don't know. I'll let the people decide.
Okay, people, can you please decide? And it's a pleasure to say hello to my brother who's just joined us in from New Zealand. Hope your weather over there is looking good, and I hope you're feeling a lot better after your hip replacement, mate. So there you go. Welcome to you. Yes. Oh God, I'm sure my brother or Pete will have something to say about this. We're talking about having a Tilton Talk topless calendar. For some stars of the show. You're very welcome, Curtis. Don't think you're out of this, mate. Don't think you're out of this. Should we do it or shouldn't we do it?
Alan Osborne says no. Des Fox says no thanks.
Yes, Mr. Fun. I think Darren should be January on the calendar to cheer all the ladies up. Mr. Fun could be December, as he can't even dampen Christmas.
I don't know, I'll give it a good go.
He did last year.
No, yeah.
Did you do all your colouring books, by the way?
I did, yeah.
You didn't bring them back
passed a
into
bit
shape,
on
did
to
you?
my niece, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So I've got a colouring book with a fun.
Okay.
On it,
Yeah.
Because he's always so happy.
Always.
Brightens the mood.
He knows how to do it. Chris and Nick, sure we can get Photoshop and put decency on the calendar.
Oh, I don't know. Someone's going to have to do
If
some
it's gonna
serious
go,
work. We're going to have to go to literally to the head of Apple, I think, to sort us.
You'd have to be mulching mine. Yeah. We want to be big bowlers.
Colin and Curtis, what are your thoughts on the current situation with Cottrell coming in and the group of players that we've got now?
Well, the team can freshen up a bit, right? So, I mean, like, we haven't really seen them play really much as a unit yet.
Well, no, we've lost so many hamstrings this season, haven't we?
Yeah.
There was a lad, what was it, Walsh, in 2 or 3 minutes?
Low, wasn't it, with the early one, but we haven't seen Walsh for a while. We haven't seen... Well, that's another story altogether, possibly, isn't it? We don't know, but yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. That's another one. No, I won't. I'm sure you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah.
With the you named the names that were in your group when somebody asked who were the characters.
Yeah.
You know, there's names there. I'm almost certain. I don't want stories, but I'm almost certain there wasn't a happy-go-lucky, everybody smiling on every single day of the training ground.
No.
With the social media now, everything leaks out, it seems. But like, it's not a terrible thing, is it, for it to happen sometimes?
No, I think it you know, from my time in, you know, at all clubs, you always see a little scuffle between players, and you know, it just comes out of when you're training and playing, and anybody can, you know, you could be playing 7-a-side, you know, wherever, you know, on a Thursday night with your pals, and someone puts in a tackle you don't like, you know, you get a bit, you know, edgy about it, and it's the same, you know, day in day out when you're training day in day out, and it's physical, and you know, especially when it's a session where even in a 5-0, if you're getting beat 3 or 4-0, all of a sudden you lose your head and start flying about a little bit, and lads do clash, but the best characters, like I said before, what happens on the pitch after you shake hands, you go, you know what, you know, we had a bit of a ruckus, but you know, let's shake hands, it's all forgotten about. But then again, I think these days maybe people do hold a grudge a little bit more.
Yeah, possibly. And the fact that he gets found out.
Well, I mean, someone asked me the other day, do you think football's gone soft? And I think maybe in a way, you know, you haven't got the characters that you used to have. And like I say, you know, for me, you know, if you have a little bit of a set to or an argument, even after games, you know, about something, after it, you know, you shake hands and go, all right, we had a disagreement, but at the end of the day, we're teammates. You know, we all want to go in the same direction. And like I say, years ago, I think it was a lot easier to forgive and forget, whereas maybe, like I say, a few people now take it to heart a little bit too much.
Where did you work, Colin, when you wrote your song?
Where did I work?
Yeah.
I worked for Rover.
For Rover, so you were making cars while you were writing songs?
Both.
Both. How many songs did you write altogether?
Oh, I've written a couple, you know.
Yeah.
But nothing's ever been done with it. So
I don't know, you're sitting here now.
Yeah, well. You know.
What? So, way back in the 70s, that's got like the it's going to be the Latchford era, isn't it? And
yeah.
I remember them. Oh dear, the days.
Francis, the best player you've seen?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor Francis was the best, yeah. I don't know how much he'd be worth now.
Yeah, if you could bottle him back up and, you know, take him back to his like 16, 17-year-old. Oh my goodness me, he'd be off the scale, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He would be off the scale.
That's one thing I've probably proud of. Well, one of the big things I'm proud of in my career, that I got to play under Trevor Francis, one of my dad's heroes. I mean, there's no one. There's no one.
Asked a few minutes ago who was the best manager you've
had. Well, my dad loved Trevor, as obviously all Blues fans did, and then also Brian Robson. Brian Robson was someone my dad used to say when I sort of got to an age where I'd set myself on being a midfielder.
In your position,
he used to say to me, like, what Brian Robson used to do. He was the
Did your
all-round.
dad play?
My dad played, at sort of semi-pro level, and
right.
I mean, he's obviously been one of the biggest influences on my career, him and my mum, and even now I phone him up, and if he comes and watches me, he's giving me all sorts of advice and critique. But
That's a nice word.
it's the best way to put it. But that's one thing I'm really proud of, that two of my dad's heroes were actually managers of mine.
Did you ever get to see Trevor Francis play, Curtis?
I did.
You
Yeah,
did?
yeah, I did. My dad took the game when I was a kid and everything.
Yeah.
And but
You don't have to hold it up, mate.
players I could remember was my best players were like Mick Harford and Mark Dennis.
Yeah.
I used to like.
Proper, not just proper hard. Not just
they had a hard team then, Noel Blake and all them lot.
Yeah, we've had some names at St Andrews over the years, haven't we? Some proper footballing names there over the years.
Bob Latchford was actually a coach when I was in the academy as well at Blues.
Right.
Yeah, so Bob he took me when I was sort of 16, 17. So I got to know Bob really well, and fantastic guy. And like I say, I never got to see him play in live, but all Blues fans obviously rave just as much about Bob as they do the greats.
Can't be bad. Okay, right. I'm going on to the Cardiff game now because that's looming. It's Friday.
Yeah.
You going?
Yes.
Yes. You going?
Yes.
Are you going?
Not with these sticks.
Not with that. We'll get Excessive Blues on the case, can't we?
I could do, yeah. We should be able to.
Yeah. Is anybody out there from Excessive Blues? Please get in touch with the show. Will you be going, Darren?
I may pop down actually. Yeah, because
Yeah.
our game's Saturday. So yeah.
So if you're not commentating on a game, like where do you go? Like
it's with down the Blues. The one thing in my career that I haven't, don't get to do too much since I started playing was go to a game with my dad. Obviously, I used to go to every Blues game with my dad when I was young, and it's quite refreshing to go and actually watch a game and sit down and chat with my dad about a game. So any time I get a chance, I'll be down the Blues. I think I'm doing the commentary for the Villa game, and I think sorry. And,
just broken the past 7 years. 7 years we've not had that word mentioned.
Oh dear, I'm sorry. I apologise. And then Middlesbrough, I think Middlesbrough just after that as well, so I'll be making a long trip to Middlesbrough as well to cover that game. So
it's a long trip and all.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. It's Friday the 13th. We're playing Cardiff. They're flying high.
Yeah.
Somebody just said on here a minute ago, if we've got a full squad, this is Adam Kinman. If Blues got a full fit squad, I believe Blues will win 2-0 against Cardiff. You don't think so, do you?
How negative was I yesterday?
I just don't know. How negative was you yesterday?
Last week. Sorry, last week.
Oh, you were
last week.
Negative. We nearly changed
last
your
week.
name.
I mean, last week we were down, weren't we? We weren't getting another point all season. We might as well start making plans for Shrewsbury next season. But I think we'll beat them. I genuinely do. I think it's.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Fox.
I've turned. Yeah, I know. I've changed completely.
Amazing announcement. Birmingham City will beat.
I've got a little bit of confidence. No, but I think the international break is my whole salvation on this prediction. But
you weren't saying that a couple of weeks ago.
No, I was worried
after the 6-1 defeat.
I wanted a game to get back into it. I wanted a game straight away so that we could see a reaction straight away. But I'm thinking he's had 2 weeks with them. He's get what you need done. And I think on the other side of the spectrum, Cardiff were on such a high. You know what it's like in the Championship. You win 2 games on the bounce, and you don't stop until there's a break, and that break can halt momentum in a little bit. And I look at their squad, and I don't see world beaters. I don't see a squad there that will run away with the Championship. I think they're there to be got at, and I think the international break may have helped us, and I'm hoping it's hindered their progress and their momentum. And with what looks to be another packed St Andrews, the support this year has been ridiculously good, considering where we are. You look at it realistically where we are in the table, and we're selling out away days left, right, and centre. There's not a ticket to be had in the Cup or Tilton. It's mad. So with a packed out Friday night, albeit on telly, you know, it's going to be packed out Friday night against Cardiff. I think we'll get back on track.
I don't know what the ticket sales are, but I do urge you not to sit in the pubs, like I said in my opening notes, not to spend the time at home.
£15, I think.
15 quid
Cheapest
ticket is
like that.
Get yourselves up.
How many pints are you going to buy in the pub?
You can all sit there on your social media with your keyboard saying this about this player, that about that player, but if you ain't doing it yourself and you're doing your little bit as well, then ain't worth speaking about it, is it? You know, so pick yourselves up and get yourselves down. I've organised somebody to come and do my shift early for me. Thanks, Sharon.
Oh, there you go. Well done.
She don't know about the Villa game yet.
No, okay. She will soon.
We do say the word.
Oh.
Not very nice.
I feel better now.
Not very nice, but we do say it. We usually use the B6 is the normal.
Okay.
We normally would use.
Mine,
yeah. Have we got anybody on from Accessory Blues yet? No. Okay. Keep going, Mr. Brown. Keep going.
I've turned my mic on now, so
that's
hopefully
nice of
people
you to join the
Yes,
Well,
Mr. Funny's smiling, says Alan.
It's ridiculous, isn't
International break.
Yeah.
England have got through to the World Cup.
England have won 2 games in a row.
Football.
2 games in a row. We haven't conceded a goal. We're at the World Cup. Argentina might not be. Portugal might not be. Italy might not be. Holland won't be. And we're there. What on earth is there to moan about?
Well, we may as well have booked our flights on Monday.
What a wonderful situation to find ourselves
I can
in.
see us just getting mullered, completely and utterly turned over.
But okay. When was the last time England got mullered? When was the last time England got
last international competition?
No. I don't think we got mullered.
All right, okay. We'll get beat.
We lost.
We beat. A bit emotional.
We got beat by Germany 4-1 in the South Africa World Cup.
That was mullered. That's
Gareth
German,
Barry. 50% fit Gareth Barry was in that midfield that day.
That's being mullered. Wouldn't you agree? That's being mullered, isn't it? 4-1 against Germany.
Yeah. So that's going to be 8 years ago. The next tournament football we play,
But Southgate missed that penalty. He missed that penalty.
That was 20 years ago.
I don't care. I can't forgive him.
Marcus says, bloody hell. I can say bloody, can't I? Bloody hell, Tilton Talk going prime time with a full cast.
Busy in here, right?
It's warmer in here than it was in the millennium, isn't it? Can we send Mr. Fun to Russia to take one for the team? Have a guess who that's on.
Dennis. No, I'd love to go, yeah. I think there was a stat I read, the last 39 qualifiers, we're unbeaten in the last 39 qualifiers. We've won 30 of them. We've scored 100 goals and conceded 15. And we've kept 28 out of the 39. We've kept clean sheets.
Why was Wembley half empty?
That is a ridiculously good record.
Why was Wembley half empty the other night?
I don't know.
Did you see it? Yeah. Did you see it? It was disgraceful.
Yeah. I can't
I'll tell you why. I can answer it. Because people like me who have seen it year over year over year over year have just got so disgruntled we just don't bother going anymore.
Can I see what?
Poor football, poor displays, inept management.
Can I ask? 1 second.
Oh, you put your
Sorry,
hand up.
I don't know. I'm getting ever so polite. If Blues beat Cardiff 1-0, but don't play very well, and then we go to Millwall and don't have as much possession as Millwall, and win 1-0, will we be?
I'll be over the moon.
Will we be on the Tilton Talk Shed the Monday after going?
Do you know why?
Why are people going to watch Blues?
Do you know why I'll be over the moon?
Why?
Because the last game we played, we got mullered 6-1. That's why I'll be over the moon for two easy little nicky wins.
But so why won't two 1-0 wins that secure qualification to a World Cup be good enough?
Because it's boring. Look, Chris, I was in the pub.
Winning 1-0 twice would be boring.
There was 9 people watching it on the big screen. Well, there was actually 8 because one bloke had got his back to the screen.
Okay.
I went out for a cigarette. This guy comes out.
Shame
he says,
on him.
I can't wait to go home to watch Country File.
Shame on him also.
It gets like this every week. Don't worry about it.
If you were in that England squad and you've secured qualification,
you were in under-19s, weren't you?
Yeah, 20s. I was in a 21 squad as well. Yeah.
When Holland won't qualify. Argentina are struggling. Portugal are probably going to have to play a playoff. Italy are definitely going to have to play a playoff. And you secure qualification, and you've got the record that I've just said. What more can you do?
The thing is with England, and I had this. I had a little bit of debate on Twitter, not the last game, the game before, and where we won. Was it 4-0 in the end?
Yes.
And we scored late goals, and
I went happy
but that's the thing, and there was a lot of people who weren't happy. And I asked the question after. I said, "We've won 4-0. We've kept a clean sheet. What more do you want?"
Yeah.
People will go, "Oh, we've got to perform like this. We've got to perform like that." But what you've got to, there's an opposition now. Whether it's up to for debate whether Lithuania or whoever it is, Malta, you class them as part timers or whatever it is. But you've got literally the whole team behind the ball. Lithuania was the same last night. Southgate said it after the game. He said, when you come up against your Germanys and your Brazils, the teams like that, they're not going to sit back.
No.
So England probably could play a bit more expansive and maybe better football. But when you've got 11 men in front of you in the goal, you've got to be patient, and that's how I see it. So 2 teams contribute to a game of football, and you can blast England for saying we should beat these 4 or 5, but at the end of the day, they're an international team. They're not just some chumps who turn up and play a game of football. They're organised to try and stop England every which way they can. So England win, don't concede a goal. World Cup qualification. I'm asking people what We're going to the World Cup. We'll be there.
100%.
Kev, Kelly, Nick, calm down. Let Chris have his moment, gushing over England. Stephen Kaler wins the win, 5-0 or win. We still get 3 points. Boring or not, it's a results business. And Dean Lomas, you got the winner, the Dean of the competition this week, so do get in touch after the show. The stadium was empty because there is no fight in the team and because against a team half decent we'd get stuffed. Sorry, but England only have 2 good players, Kane and Rashford.
Oh, Dele Alli is not a good footballer. Wow, that's interesting. Kyle Walker is not a good wing back. Oh, good.
And Dave Moore says this looks like a boys' own reunion with Louis Walsh on the right hand side. That's got to be worth a hat, Chris.
I think looking on the right,
That's got to be worth a hat.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Oh dear, yeah, it's all about me actually. Oh dear.
Ray says,
brilliant.
in my lifetime, I'd rather England won the World Cup whatever way than go home after a fortnight. I'm not saying it's going to happen. If we go to the World Cup next year and get to the semi-final final and we win every game 1-0 and we have 40% possession in every single game, are we coming away going, well, what a boring World Cup that was?
What, with the trophy?
Well, if we get the trophy.
I know what you're saying, but you couldn't.
Portugal last year, they had Cristiano Ronaldo, like arguably the best player in the world at the time of the Euros. They were dreadful. The football they played was awful, and they won the Euros. They beat a France side in the final with all the attacking ability France have got in France, and they were dreadful. And they sat back and they soaked up everything, and they scored in extra time and won the Euros. Do you think the Portuguese fans are going, well, I've just wasted 120 minutes watching us win that trophy? That was rubbish.
Robert Doyle says, have we mentioned the smelly flag yet? No, not today, but we will do. The smelly flag, there you go.
Yeah.
Do you know what the smelly flag is?
No.
It's that
one that goes
flag
along the Tilton.
Okay.
Everybody says it stinks of old sheds. If ever you get the opportunity to go underneath it, you'll know exactly what they mean. So, yes, the smelly flags know how to mention. I suppose I'm fortunate, right, because I do just remember, and you'll remember also England winning that World Cup final in 1966. Yeah, I was only 6 years old, right, but I do remember it. And I remember the joy that it meant to people running out of their houses and, gambolling in the streets and things like that, watching it on a little old black and white TV, 10 families to one telly.
Yeah.
Back in the day when, it was proper.
So you were 6 when we won the World Cup?
Yeah,
66. Yeah, so you were about 6 years old, which means when we failed to qualify for the 74 World Cup, 76 Euros and 78 World Cup,
I remember them.
When we didn't play international tournaments for 8 years, you were going through your late teens, early 20s. Do you not remember that?
I was a Birmingham City fan. Concentrating on what went on.
How awful. Like, I'm 28. I've known us fail to qualify for Euro 2008. I've seen us in every other tournament. talk about how terrible we are now. We failed to qualify for 3 tournaments in a row in the 70s. And we just on the back of winning the World Cup in 66, probably should have won it in 70 as well. And then we failed to qualify throughout the 70s. We were dreadful throughout the 70s.
Yes, we were dreadful. I'll put it down to the shorts.
Okay.
Where were you, Colin, on the 1966 World Cup final day?
I was driving back from Cornwall.
Oh, you say you didn't watch the game?
No.
You had it on the radio on the car?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I'm surprised you didn't crash.
That was it. I watched the game when I got home, yeah. I was down in Towie in Cornwall.
I'd have stayed there. I wouldn't have come home for a game.
No.
There's no way
I'd have found a reason to find somewhere to watch it. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, Chris. I really don't. Maybe it's all the technology we've got now.
It's you know what, it's so many people, like Darren said, so many people on Twitter going, I don't know why I'm watching this. You know, what a waste of an hour and a half watching this. And you're watching your country win an international to qualify for a World Cup. I just don't understand it. If it was club football, we'd be buzzing with a 1-0 win.
I think Sharon was knitting behind the bar as well at the same time.
Shame on Sharon.
Got to say, little get well soon to Ethan, Sharon's little grandson, very, very poorly in hospital at the moment. It's got some brain swelling issues going on, which hopefully they're getting under control. So get well soon, wee man. We all popped up to see him yesterday, and poor little lad. He's only 5. He's in a bit of a state. Horrible, but hey, you know. So, can you see us winning another World Cup ever?
Yes.
Yeah. Curtis?
Not in my lifetime. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No. I mean, you've watched the England setup over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever get the opportunity to go and watch them live at Wembley?
Yeah.
Many times?
3, I think.
I did. I think I did probably every game in the 80s. Every game that was on, I was there. I was just so into it. And then they started wearing white headphones, and I couldn't be bothered anymore. Just couldn't be bothered anymore. And no, I think I think there's a multitude of things that lead up to it, right? That is one of them. They distance themselves from supporters so much, so very much. Yeah. They live in this bubble, in this other world that we can't never get access to, right? And you know, they arrive on a coach. They don't even wave to the, you know. I go, well, what? Just pay your wages, mate. Put your hand up, say hello, huh? Sign a few kids' autographs when they get off the bus. You know, it's wrong, isn't it?
I'm just happy.
Can we leave the ranting to Mr. Fun?
I don't know why I'm on one tonight. It's not normally me, is it? Yeah. It's not normally me.
I'm not ranting.
No, I know.
Secured World Cup qualification.
Very calm tonight. Yeah.
What did you have to drink before you got it?
Part of the spring.
Oh dear. Dean says, sorry, but passing back and not attacking isn't what the fans want to see. I agree with Darren, but people were paid to see attacking football. But let's be honest, Sterling is great.
Did I?
But Sterling is great, but he doesn't pass when he needs to. Mr. Fun, I agree your point on Portugal, I really do. But come on, even the commentators were bored.
but he says people pay to watch attacking football. I don't think they do. I don't think it says on your ticket you have paid £25 to watch free-flowing attacking football. I think it says you've paid to watch England versus Lithuania or England versus Slovenia at Wembley. You know, that's what you've paid to see, and it's the same. You've paid to go and see. We've all paid to go and see Blues Cardiff on Friday night.
The thing is, I ask this question to people: is you look at our front three the other night. You look at Rashford, Ali, and Kane. I can guarantee you the top clubs in the world, your Barcelonas, your Madrids, your Bayerns, they will be looking at them three, saying, you know, we'd have them in our team. We'd go out and buy them. So you talk about you want to see attacking football. You've got 3 of the great young talents in football. And I think that, you know,
Kyle
people...
Walker on the right.
He cost 50 million quid, but, you know...
According to Dennis, it's Louis Welsh on the right,
the
Chuckle Brothers on the left, the Dell in the middle, and the legend with the Alice Band.
I've got a flightly, I'll tell you that.
Dear, brilliant. No, I can't see it ever happening. I just can't see it.
No, I'm optimistic.
Are you optimistic? Really?
That front three that Darren's just mentioned, he's right. In 4 years' time, when they're at their prime, Kane, Ali, and Rashford, that is going to be a front three that will tear defences apart for the next 10 years for England.
Dean Lomas says, look, I have to say, I was lucky enough to be at Wembley, play at Wembley 3 years ago. Southgate was my manager. What an excellent, lovely guy he is, but maybe he's just too nice.
It's a hard one for me.
Across him?
I've come across him in football, and I'm old enough to have actually played against him. So, but again, I think people have got to understand in the dressing room, people can be different, managers can be different, and I think Southgate, he might have that ruthless side. He's from sort of the old school. He's played back in the day when it was, changing rooms could get aggressive. So you don't know what he's saying to these players in the dressing room. He might be having a few out and telling them exactly some home truths, but to the press, he's defending his players.
Yeah. What do you think to him? Seriously,
Southgate.
Yeah.
No, he's not my cup of tea. Is it?
Not your cup of tea.
No.
Nor mine,
No.
not really. Yeah.
Consensus of opinion.
Yeah.
Is it because he missed that pen? Is that
I was going to say, is it? Was it Euro 96 that's done it?
Robert Doyle, England football is 20 years behind Spain and Germany. No strategy for grassroots football. No homegrown talent coming through. Premier would rather focus on expensive foreign players to keep the money rolling in. There's only something like...
We just mentioned Rashford and Ali.
There's only something like 35% of the Premier League players which are available to go Southgate to pick from.
Okay.
Out of what is supposed to be the best league in the world, and we can't homegrown.
However, Dele Alli plays alongside Ali and Kane play alongside Christian Eriksen every week. Rashford learnt from Ibrahimovic last year. He's now got Lukaku with him, and he's got Pogba and Mkhitaryan and all those players. Would you rather be Rashford, Kane, and Ali be playing with those, or if you're filling the Premier League with English players, you're basically saying the Championship players who are English have got to go into the Premier League. So would you rather your England squad, the best English players, be playing with all due respect, Jutkovic up front or Lukaku up front?
I'm a Duke every time. Every day.
But that's my point.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I don't care if there's 10% of the Premier League who are English. If that 10% are good enough and are playing with some of the best players in the world, Aguero, Lukaku, Pogba, you name
They're all
it.
available for other countries.
They are, but they're all. But our players are playing alongside them
So
and
it's okay
learning
for us
from
to
them.
have 10% and the other countries to have 90%.
But
of the best league in the world. I don't know. I'm just chucking it out there.
I understand. I can see what you're saying, because, like you say, you want to be playing.
Silence, Mr. Bond. Silence, Mr. Bond.
7 years. How many of our players playing abroad?
Well, that's what I'd like to see more of.
That's what I mean.
I'd like to see more. I'd like to see players going out on loan. People moan about the young Chelsea players how many players they've got on loan. I'd rather the young Chelsea players go out on loan to the Dutch league, the Portuguese league, than Championship football. I don't know what you think. Would you never got to do that? Was that something you'd have liked to have done at some point?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I went on loan to Sunderland from Blues for 6 months, and it was unbelievable for my development, and really did kick me on as a player. So the loan system for me, it worked in this country. But I think it's for young players. I think it's great on the football field, but also off. It gives them a great experience to go away and live away from home and everything, and maybe gives them a bigger appreciation when they come back to say, well, I'm playing in a fantastic league, in this country, and maybe gets the hunger even higher, if you like. But it's a good point. Like I say, I agree. You want your best young English players to be playing with, world class players.
I want them to be playing against the best in the world.
But maybe then you talk about, maybe there is too many foreign players coming over. You want the best. You want the best. But like you say, you want it to be. So you don't want it to stem the growth of young English players. But again, I think we've got some great talent coming through.
Robert Doyle says, I'd rather the FA get a strategy for grassroots football. A handful of players coming through is poor.
I mean, I think was it today? St George's Park was his 5th anniversary. Was it today or very recently? I think the grassroots thing is improving, and I think it's something that there's so many things you could throw at the FA. for things that they do or don't do in football. I think this is certainly something they have put a lot of money into, and they are trying to improve. And you have got the under 16s onwards. So the best young players in England who are playing for England, young age groups, are going to St George's regularly, and that they're having a lot more time together in terms of squads.
Right, okay, just to let you know, guys out there, that we have been donated very kindly a ticket for the Blues Villa game. That will be competitioned off next week, so listen in next week for a chance to win a ticket for the big one.
It's a good prize.
It is a good prize. It is a good prize, yes. And
where is it?
Thanks to Nick.
Do we know where in the ground it is?
I can get all the details, and thanks to Nick Langston, who's kind of organising it for us. And that news came through to me last night, so that's a great gesture. So somebody who hasn't got a ticket will be going to that game.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
News. Great, isn't it? The Tilton Talk Show, mate, especially Dicey. We do need to think of something really hard, something that's not even on Google. Colin, if you can remember anything that from years gone by, we'd really appreciate your help on this. Oh dear. Now, Colin, you've got this type because we're going to be playing it again in another 10 minutes. When did you type that one out? Was that the original?
Yeah.
Is that the original?
Yeah.
Oh, we're holding a piece of history here.
It's a good nick.
Do you want to hold a piece of history, Chris? Yeah.
That's fantastic.
We had a player's contract in the week from the 1970s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like 1970s, yeah. And his actual contract, and we have a competition, what's in the box.
Yeah.
And they still got it.
Oh, is it just one piece of paper, was it, or was it?
It was folded up. Yeah. Like a brown.
I think you have to have about 30 odd different
pretty,
pieces of paper now.
It's pretty basic.
Complex. It's very complex now, but
there wasn't the terms and conditions you'd have now.
He was paid 7 shillings a week. 7 shillings, not 70p. 7 shillings. That's 35p. We'll remember that, Colin. 35p in good money, proper Queen's English money. You know what I mean, with the big pennies.
That's right.
I got some of that out yesterday, and Shannon's grandson couldn't believe that we had to have 144 of them for £1 for £1. Goodness me. Thank you very much. That's absolutely brilliant, that is. Thank you for bringing that in.
It's okay.
That's the original document. There you go. Is that on camera now? That's the original document for We Are the Lads for the Tilton, typed up by our special guest tonight, Colin. Thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate that. That's amazing. That's kept in good condition as well, isn't it? You really?
I own it every night.
Get him to do it for you. All right, okay, it's Cardiff up on Friday night. Let's have some predictions. Darren?
I am going to go with a 2-1 win.
2-1 win for who, though?
Our Blues.
Just had to clear that up. This is the one we're waiting for.
I'll go for a thoroughly boring 1-0 win. And everybody will be really depressed.
And then you want me to come in and not
why
smile
have we
next
just
Monday?
wasted 90 minutes watching that?
just so I don't come in smiling next Monday. Yeah.
1-0 Blues.
Colin, what about yourself?
I fancy a draw.
You fancy a draw?
2-1.
Curtis, 2-1. You go
2-1.
in. Chris Brown.
I'm going to go for a 0-0. Reasonable.
No, that's the spirit.
That's even more.
That's flowing with confidence tonight.
Yeah, I can keep that.
We can keep that. That is an amazing gesture. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you really, really sure?
Yeah.
That will be treated like gold in this place. I really genuinely mean that. That is amazing. He's already got a frame for it. Look, he knew you were going to bring it in. You pikey.
We weren't giving you it back.
Oh, that is
couple of 1-1s, 3-1.
Incredible. Could you sign it for us as well?
Oh, we'll do, yeah.
That would be brilliant, even better, wouldn't it? A signed copy of the original version of We Are the Lads from the Tilton.
That's amazing.
To be kept forever and ever and a day. That's brilliant. Oh, I've got goosebumps again now. Don't take a lot.
Tony Grogan says anything other than a 6-1.
Well, it's got to be that, hasn't it? You know, we can't capitulate again, can we? Or else it's going to be.
It's going to get lively if we capitulate like goal. I think the one thing that we won't, Cottrell will make sure that we won't do that again.
Do you know if Hotter's back?
I do not.
No.
Adams has been training in the photos that we've seen, the videos we've seen on that they're shared on the Twitter account. Adams has been training, so hopefully he'll be in
signed copy. There you go.
Superb.
There you go, Mr. Brown. Put that in the frame. One for the wall. We've got a wall behind there with all the photographs and guests and everything that we've had on over the years. So we'll be taking your photographs before you leave. So we'll be get a picture of that as well. Cracking. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so hopefully Adams will be involved.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he'll make a difference if he's back.
I haven't seen Hot to play.
I've seen him a bit of him. Think he's a great signing, and if he finds that sort of form, I think it'll be fantastic for Blues. But I'm interested to see team selection. I think that'd be very interesting.
Yes.
Saturday, see what team he goes with. Yeah.
Robert Dawes says, my prediction, hammering down with rain, cold pies and 3,000 taffies and a smelly flag and a dodgy ref. There you go.
Did you see that Ndoye goal?
Yeah. Brilliant cross. Brilliant
Where did that
overhit
come
cross.
from?
Must have been an overhit cross.
Oh my goodness me.
I've seen him.
What
I've
is
seen
he
him
like?
blaze two over.
Is it any wonder we call you
two
Mr.
over the
Fun?
bar, 1-on-1 for 10 yards against Sheffield Wednesday, and then he pulls that out of the bag on international. It must have been a cross. That's the only thing I can think.
He wasn't playing for England though, was he?
No.
Exciting goals, you see.
Yeah. I did see that
though. Vassell. Wonder if Vassell's back.
Yeah, well, listen. If you've got Vassell and Adams available, then that is certainly pace that will cause them problems, and and you throw the Hotter and the rest of them, Boga in as well. So I think there is options there to cause Cardiff problems. Definitely.
Dean Lomas says the Ndoye goal was brilliant. The cross.
The cross. Can't, as much as I really would like to, I can't deny that it was a perler. Yeah.
And Benji Smith says he's seen a photo. Yeah, we've all seen that one of Kieftenbeld with Cots with his arm around him.
Yeah,
Opie's
possibly
back.
Something there. Yeah, but I think that's clever from Cottrell if that's what he's doing. Getting everybody on side.
Cottrell went in and he did openly say, he says, "I'm giving everybody a clean sheet. It's a new start. The season starts today, Monday. Yeah. Right? Okay.
10 games late, but about 8 games late, but no, but he's right. I think really after the 6-1, that's the only way to go, and it's the way Rowett went. If you remember, after the Bournemouth battering as well, he come in and did exactly the same thing. He said, everybody starts from now and we go from here. So, and I think that was his first game was against Watford, who were right up the top as well, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Watford were in the top 2, I think, and we beat them 2-1. Like you say.
James Brown saying 3-0 if Hotter plays. Dave Tolley 2-0 Blues. Typical Blues. We could be out of sight by half time and finish 6-1. Win. Jason Brennan 1-0. Drennan, do beg your pardon. And Tony Shut Your Face Leighton 3-1 Blues. Keep right on. So the optimism is still there.
James Wright says, if it's a heavy defeat, can I have next week off? Might be wise.
Yeah. Shane's going 3-1. We don't know if Hotter's fit, to be fair. That's a question that's been coming up all night long. So
hopefully he's back sooner rather than later, because like Darren said, he's someone that will definitely improve that side.
Yeah, and Robert Dore, good point here. Problem is, a clean start is good, but the dressing room is still split on wages, etc. Half the squad will just turn up. Was it ever an issue?
Wages?
Yeah.
No. My view on it is that we all negotiate your own contracts. Right. So you sign a contract you're happy with. If someone comes in on triple your money, then fair play to them. They've negotiated it. The club have given them. So you should be happy with your contract and what you've negotiated. Oh, it's ruthless. It's a ruthless. Yeah. It really is a ruthless place. But you have to look after yourself in that sense, and you can't begrudge anyone else of what they've got.
Yeah. This team need to appease the crowd, I think, on Friday.
Yeah.
Namaru starts.
Definitely.
Right, okay. Because we're all going to be on the edges of our seats, pretty much. Whereabouts do you sit, Kev?
Block 16.
Block 16, Tilton?
Yeah, Tilton Cop Corner, yeah.
All right, I'll come look at it.
I used to have Block 11 back in the day.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And then the back of the Tilton back in the day. You'll remember that, won't you, Colin?
When I went with him, it was halfway line.
Halfway line, by the refreshment stand.
In the main stand.
So it was, yeah.
I can't believe you remember that, man. You didn't know where
I
you
had my season ticket in. It was Block 11. He had me Tilton Cop Corner. I was the lower, yeah. Is that 11 now? I can't remember back.
No, 11. Block 11's in the
so mine's
the back
the
of
one
the
at
goal.
the front, yeah,
and
yeah.
then
So
Tilton Cop Corner 16.
that's it. So
Yeah.
I had my season ticket about 5 or 6 years.
And main stand when I went with him on the halfway line years ago.
I don't like sitting in the main stand. It's got to be demolished, isn't it? It's got to go.
Yeah. I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah. Well,
It's not functional anymore, though, is it? Really?
Back in the day, it was the best seats in the house, but
it's horrible to get.
Really? I was up there the other week, and
I was
just a great block of metal in front of me.
Well, no, I'm talking when I was about 6.
Yeah.
D122 and 123 misses.
You did what?
I
Sorry.
still remember the seat numbers.
Yeah, fair play.
And then he used to go on the D club afterwards, and I used to go on the pitch and have a kick around with a tennis ball.
Those are the days.
Could you?
No. Yeah, get a telling off the groundsman if you tried that now. Then.
Can Colin sing us out tonight?
No.
Come on. Will you join in with it?
We'll join in.
We'll all join in.
Yeah.
We'll all join in?
Yeah.
We'll all join in about
It'll
3
sound horrific,
minutes
but
time.
we'll go to go.
About 3 minutes time. Oh, Curtis, I'm glad you picked up on the fact that that your dad was like a massive part of what we do here.
Yeah, well, like I say,
and I really appreciate you bringing him in. Bless you, Colin. You're an absolute gentleman, an absolute gentleman. And that I promise you that original transcript of that song will be kept like in a vault on the wall somewhere.
Next to the Trevor Francis
he's
pen.
He's got a pen that Trevor Francis signed a document with once, and he's got it.
Oh.
I've got all sorts of stuff. Oh. Yeah, I stole your boots once.
Oh really?
Just after the Cardiff game. They'll go on.
You got anything
later.
from that? You got the shirt from that? Still?
Yeah, my shirt is actually in the museum in centre of Birmingham at the moment.
Is it?
Yeah, with my medal and stuff.
But
so
it's yours. You've still kept it.
Oh yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
So that shirt and my debut shirt when I made my debut at West Brom, the yellow away Phones for You one. So yeah, I keep all my shirts, to be fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, holds pride of place.
Did you get it signed by everybody, or?
My shirt, no. It's something actually I thought to myself, maybe I should have done, but at the time it was obviously after the game.
Yeah,
wasn't even thinking about that. It was just
chaos.
That's it. But yeah, no, it's great. Like I say, it's something I'm immensely proud of.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, as a supporter, we collect things, as well.
Yeah.
I've got a piece of grill from the old cop.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And to me, that's like it's a bit of gold. You know what I mean? A bit of grill. Did you rob anything from the old cop? There was people walking down the street from advertising audits. Everything was going bits and turnstiles.
I got bits of souvenirs from when we went abroad over Europe.
You went to those, did you?
I went on all of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did we play Tresena? Was that
National in the
recent one?
Sorry,
the Anglo talent.
Yeah.
I didn't go to them, but I went to the recent ones. Yeah, I went to all them.
Bruges and Braga.
I can only imagine what Bruges was like.
Bruges was fantastic. In a way,
it looked immense.
It was better than Wembley.
And how did we treat them supporters when they came back here with dogs and police officers and vans and policemen with batons, and all we wanted to do was mingle, shake their hands and say what a great occasion that was, you know what I mean? And everybody was coming back, putting all over social media on how brilliant the locals were to them and everything. We wanted to reciprocate that, but we weren't allowed to.
If only Nicholas scored that penalty at Braga.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Ifs and buts. Yeah.
Ifs and buts.
Why was he ever taking it? That's
I know he took it.
Why were you on it?
Yeah. I would have been if I was there.
Oh dear. Well, time has beaten us once again, lovelies. Please, I'm begging you. I'm absolutely begging you. Get down to St Andrews on Friday night. Let's make that place as noisy as we possibly can. Curtis, I'll sure see you there on Friday, buddy. I'll come and look you out. Block 16. Mr. Fun, thank you ever so much for being so entertaining tonight and not losing your temper once.
Try to keep it as
calm. The calm show.
Calmer than last week.
The calm show.
Calmer than last week.
The calm show. I think last week was pretty justified though, and we don't want another one, do we?
I'd rather not do that.
But the absolute star of our show tonight is you, sir, Colin, writing that song all those years ago that means so much to so many people. And then bringing that piece of paper here tonight has absolutely melted my heart. Thank you very much, my friend. Bless you.
Pleasure.
I really, really appreciate it. I know we're going to play it out Here we go. This is what we do. Monday night Tilton Talk. Darren Carter, thank you so very much indeed. You're welcome.
Pleasure.
Anytime.
Yeah.
And for that, which foot was it, by the way?
The lefty.
I've got to put you.
You can tell, you can hear it. I know. Away you go, sir.
Can't sing that, Dad.
With chance of super blues.
All you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from the Tilton.
Your mission will be going mad.
Support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say?
Good night, guys. Take care.
Following the blues, we love you, what more can we say?